some incomprehensible and utterly idiotic moves coming from the Kamala Harris campaign once again, as I suspect everyone in the chat that are not being paid by the DNC but act like they are to defend their fucking idiotic actions in here will come in to tell me how brilliant of a strategic move this is.
The special guests of the vice president's campaign event in Wisconsin today.
Here's why this shit is funny. Everybody laughs when Donald Trump has RFK Jr. and Tulsi Gabbard. Like, liberals love laughing at Donald Trump's like futile attempts of posturing alongside Tulsi Gabbard and RFK Jr. To be like, I'm the unification candidate. Like, look at me. But then they think it's brilliant when Kamala Harris does the same thing in reverse with fucking Liz Cheney. Like, it makes no dang sense. These are people with zero real constituencies. I go so far as to say RFK Jr. has a bigger constituency and more voters than fucking Liz Cheney does. Okay.
Republican former Congresswoman Liz Cheney, who will appear alongside Vice President Harris in a city that's home to the birthplace of the GOP. CBS News campaign reporter Aaron Navarro is in Ripon, Wisconsin, following the vice president's campaign for us. So, Aaron, it's not surprising that Liz Cheney is appearing with the vice president. The former lawmaker has said she's voting for Vice President Harris. Even her dad, Dick Cheney, who, I mean, I don't know.
Miss once, dog, damn, I never miss. I don't miss.
No, you might not have been around, at least not following politics during the Dick Cheney era, Aaron. But for folks like myself who watched the sort of power that Dick Cheney amassed as a vice president under George W. Bush as president, and how conservative he was going back to the Nixon administration, it's sort of really interesting where the Cheneys are today. So I guess the question becomes, what is the message the vice president is trying to convey to her supporters by having two arch conservatives who up until recently would have been political opponents of hers?
Vlad, good to be with you outside this event in Ripon College. It's a signal and a message that the Democrats have a wide coalition. And as you mentioned, it's a bit of a striking political moment. Harris coming to the birthplace of the Republican Party, the Little White Schoolhouse here in Ripon, Wisconsin, where that party was formed. Senior campaign officials say she will address the creation of that Republican Party as she argues that Trump no longer represents traditional moderate conservatives. These are the voters she's looking to appeal to. And for the Cheneys, for the Adam Kinzingers, Republicans that have campaigned for Harris and don't really have that much in common in terms of policy, they all cite democracy and January 6th as a reason that they're here and campaigning for Harris and not voting for former President Trump.
Love that the Kamala campaign is doing an event with this person, Liz Cheney. Liberals love laughing at Trump when he brings up Tulsi Gabbard on stage like she's going to siphon votes from Dems, but then we'll claim this move by the campaign is brilliant in the same, as brilliant in the same breath. Ay, ay, ay. It's just like, this is what she said, by the way. Kamala Harris is a radical liberal who would raise taxes, take away guns and health insurance, and explode the size and power of the federal government. She wants to recreate America in the image of what's happening on the streets of Portland and Seattle. We won't give her a chance. Like, what are we doing here? What are we doing? Like, what the fuck's going on here? Why do you ever want to be associated with a fucking freak like Liz Cheney or Dick Cheney? It doesn't make any sense to me. I just, why don't more Democrats feel like I do? I just don't get it. Why don't more Democrats go, what the fuck are you doing, Kamala Harris? Like, we don't like these people. I swear to God, the Democratic Party, liberals in general, just don't give a shit. They just want their team to win. They just want their team to win. They think that this is a successful strategy. They don't really care if it's just like repackaged Republican Party attitudes, repackaged Republican Party heroes. Well, Liz Cheney's not even a hero of the Republican Party. You're not a Democrat? Yeah, the reason why I'm not a Democrat is because the Democrats are not behaving like the counterbalance, the counterweight towards right-wing radicalism in this country. If they operated like a Labor Party, if they operated like a party that actually cared about, I don't know, preserving American democracy, preserving people's civil liberties, and fighting for it tooth and nail, I'd be a proud Democrat. I'd be a loud and proud Democrat. They're just not. Do you understand? That's my issue. I don't give a fuck. I know that there's a stink associated with, like, taking ownership over that sort of thing, but I don't personally care. I have no issue. I would have no issue saying, oh man, like if if the Democratic Party was reshaped in the Bernie Sanders image, I would be fucking screaming from the rooftop. I'd be blue MAGA. I'd be blue no matter who as fuck. And it's very frustrating. It's very frustrating to watch the Democrats like basically repackage Republican Party policies from 4 years ago and say and try to fucking hail it as a celebratory, brilliant tactical move, a move that deserves praise, a move that deserves celebration. This is going around on Twitter, and it's the whole left is not voting for Harris makes them ignore talking point again. You know what's really funny about this idiotic talking point that's going around on Twitter? Republicans vote for Republicans. Kamala Harris is desperately trying to get Republican votes. She's courting Republican votes with no assurances that they will vote for the Dems anyway. So if the Democrats cared about like winning, okay, they would be courting the progressive left instead of taking their vote for granted and then telling them to shut the fuck up. Their strategy for courting the progressive base, or not even just the progressive base, but just like a broader base of support that they could technically create, a broader base of allegiance of all the couch voters, the people that stay at home, is simply offering them things that improve their lives. But they refuse to do that. And their strategy for the quote unquote left, like high propensity voters in general, is basically just like bullying them and then saying like, oh, you just want to, you just want fascism to thrive, I think. I run into so many drooling, ignorant normies who are at least on the front, dumb, medium voters. She's listening to the Clinton campaign strategist, so of course she's bullying the progressive left. Yeah, it's just stupid. Whenever you're embracing accelerationism, brother, the funniest part about this is that like vote for a Democrat and accelerationism is still happening. You know what I mean? Like right now, the only thing that they can rely on is the Trump campaign being dog shit at communicating. But that JD Vance performance the other night, if they are able to play ball like that, if they are able to at least like somehow moderate their messaging, they're going to have a not so bad time. Okay. I asked my Republican coworker today what he thinks about Kamala now that she's moving to the right. Can you guess what he said? She's a goddamn commie who slept around to get her job, and I fucking hate her, and Donald Trump's going to save this country. She's also a Haitian migrant. Did I nail it? Democrats are no longer liberals. They are Marxists. Yep. Oh, man. That's shocking. That's shocking that your Republican coworker is still a Republican. I'm from PA, and some people I know are either not voting at all or not voting for her law. I live right outside of Philly and I haven't seen one campaigner who's not winning it, bro. Are there any creators for Kamala that are publicly opposed to the move to the right? No, why would they be? They're creators for Kamala. I think the role that a lot of TikTokers play is to just like try and look, I'm not going to immediately claim that every single person is a cynical tactician here. I think there are probably some young voters and this is their first go. We've all been there. You want to believe that the Democratic Party has your best interest in mind, even though they fucking communicate that they definitely do not. So I suspect that there are probably some, TikTokers out there who are like still riding with Kamala, still trying to do Brett Summer memes, and maybe there is a genuine intent behind that. Maybe it's not so cynical. And there are plenty of others who are cynically doing that because that's all they know. That's all they know in terms of like developing a brand for themselves. Like latching on to a popular momentum or a popular movement is a relatively successful way to build a brand for yourself. And that's what they're doing. For me, being a Bernie bro certainly helped my career early on. The difference, however, is that I was genuine. You know what I mean? I genuinely was a Bernie bro. He happened to align with my beliefs. Does that make sense? Which is precisely the reason why I have not stopped advocating for the things that I've been advocating for before Bernie and after Bernie, right? And even at times find myself at odds with Bernie. Your cynical viewpoint with the size of your audience means that Trump is more likely to win. Good luck with that, bro. Yes, dude, you're right. I'm at fault. I'm the reason why Kamala Harris is going to lose, even though I say Kamala Harris is still has a likelihood of winning. It's just it's getting worse and worse every day, in my opinion. This idea that like I'm so powerful single-handedly is a really stupid idea, because let's be real, if that's true, if I have hundreds of thousands of voters at my command in key swing states, then Kamala Harris is the dumbest person on the planet not to literally knock on my door specifically to be like, how can we get your army of votes to go out and vote for Kamala Harris. How can we do that? Please. Because like, that's how it works, right? That's how it works. If you got hundreds of thousands of people, right? If you legitimately believe that, which by the way, I don't think I have the capacity to swing an election. You are delusional if you think that. And I don't even think you believe that genuinely. You are just like already gearing up for a potential Kamala Harris loss so that you can find someone to point the finger of blame at. Because God forbid you actually point that finger of blame at the campaign itself. That's it. That's all you're doing. You have a very real fear in your heart. Your audience size is massive. It will depress the vote. Okay, once again, thank you for saying my audience size is massive. You should say that not to me, but instead to Kamala Harris if you think that I'm a key to winning the election. Except one of the funniest aspects of this is that there is a massive audience of people that are definitely more likely to vote for the Democratic Party if Kamala Harris and the Biden administration do something that is objectively popular, which is force Israel to concede and stop killing people. Every day, the number of people that are victims of Israeli violence grows. Their family members live in the United States of America, and their anger is not only understandable, but also growing by the moment. Instead of trying to hyper target like Liz Cheney's 8 fucking friends that are in the tank for Kamala, she should perhaps focus on winning the election by changing the trajectory of American foreign policy and our undying loyalty and support to the apartheid regime of Israel that is currently conducting a genocide and also slated to have, like, by the estimations of Foundation for Defending Democracy guy yesterday, a 7-front war. That's what he said. That's it.